Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
This day in sports history. Hey, and welcome back to another edition of This Day in Sports History. It's June 6th, and on this day in 1984, it was the most famous hard foul in NBA Finals history that changed the tone of the game and the series. This was Game 4 of the NBA Finals between Boston and Los Angeles. This was also the first NBA Finals that featured Larry Bird and Magic going head-to-head after their showdown in the NCAA Final back in 1979. Magic's Showtime Lakers were up 2-1 in the series, and with about 7 minutes to play in the third quarter, LA was up 6, and they were playing at home. There was a feeling that the Lakers were getting ready to run the Celtics out of the gym and the series. With 5 minutes to go in the third, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar grabbed a missed Celtic shot and started the fast break with an outlet pass to James Worthy. Without putting it on the floor, he whipped it cross court to a streaking Kurt Rambis going full speed to the basket. But Kevin McHale clotheslined the bespectacled Rambis with his left arm, sending him flailing to the floor. McHale made no play on the ball, and Rambis hopped up quickly, itching for a fight. Now, if it hadn't been for Worthy giving him a little shove into the courtside photographers, Rambis would have gotten to him. Instead, as the benches cleared and pushing and shoving and words were exchanged, Rambis was helped to his feet by Bird. Things calmed down a little bit at that point. A foul was called on McHale, and that's it, a common foul. Today, that's a flagrant 2 with an ejection, a definite fine, and a likely suspension. But just a foul. And that seemed to be the turning point in the game for the Celtics. You would think that the Lakers would have taken umbrage and that hard foul would have, kind of lit something inside of them. Instead, the Celtics went on a run and sent the game to overtime. And then Magic missed a pair of free throws, and then he committed an unusual turnover on an inbounds pass. The Celtics ended up winning the game 129-125. When the series returned to Boston for Game 5, Celtics fans started heckling Johnson as Tragic Johnson. Now, this game was physical, not just the McHale foul on Rambis, but Michael Cooper and Bird got into a little shoving contest in the second quarter. Worthy fouled Bird hard in the third. Bird and Kareem nearly got into a fight in the fourth. The Larry legend ended the night with 29 points and 21 assists in the win. But the signature moment was the McHale foul. The Celtics' Cedric Cornbread Maxwell described it this way. Before that play, the Lakers were like little kids just running across the street without looking. But after that play, they would stop, press the walk button, wait for the light to turn, then look both ways. The Celtics would go on to win the series in 7 games. 17 years later, the Lakers would be back in the finals, this time against the Philadelphia 76ers. This was Game 1 at Staples Center in LA. The Sixers' Allen Iverson was unstoppable through the first 2.5 quarters, scoring 38 up to that point and giving Philly a 14-point lead. That's when Phil Jackson made a defensive move, inserting seldom-used Tyron Lue into the game to guard the unguardable Iverson. And it worked. Lue only allowed Iverson 1 bucket over a 17.5-minute stretch, and the Lakers climbed back into it and forced the game into overtime. LA took a 5-point lead in the extra stanza, but the original AI reawakened. And after he hit a wide-open 3, the Sixers led 101-99 and would not trail again. But the most memorable play in the series came the next time down the court when Iverson crossed up Lue and then he hit a jumper to give the Sixers a 4-point lead. In his attempt to guard him, Lue tripped on Iverson's foot and he went to the floor. Iverson emphatically and with purpose stepped over him on the way to the other end. Philly won the game 107-101 in OT. It would be their only win in the series, with the Lakers taking the next 4 to win their second straight title. Of course, those two games were the result of what happened on this day in 1946, when the Basketball Association of America was officially formed. There were 11 teams split into two divisions in its first season. Most of the arenas the teams played in that year doubled as hockey arenas. Not understanding the physics involved, apparently, teams attempted to just put the wooden floor on top of the ice surface, resulting in damp floors and puddles that made the courts unplayable. I suppose with anything new, there's trial and error, growing pains and the like. These growing pains turned to shrinking pains in Season 2 when 4 teams folded, leaving just 7 franchises. After the third year, the BAA would absorb the National Basketball League and officially become the NBA. In 1992, it was World Bowl II. This was the World League of American Football's championship game between the Sacramento Surge and the Orlando Thunder. This was the only time in the brief history of the WLAF that 2 North American teams would meet in the World Bowl. Thunder quarterback Scott Mitchell, who would play 11 years for 4 different teams in the NFL, led the way early, throwing a couple of touchdown passes to give Orlando a 17-6 lead at the half. But quarterback David Archer, who played 6 seasons in the NFL before going to the World League, threw 2 second-half touchdown passes to lead the comeback in a 21-17 Surge win. Archer was named the MVP for his efforts. And on this day in 2000, the Rally Monkey made its first appearance at an Angels game. The then Anaheim Angels were playing San Francisco and were down 5-4 heading into the bottom of the ninth. That's when the scoreboard played a scene from the movie Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, with a monkey jumping up and down and a graphic added over top of it reading Rally Monkey. Well, of course you know what happened next, or the Rally Monkey would have drifted into oblivion. The Angels plated 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth to win 6-5, and the Rally Monkey was born. One of the monkeys who actually played Marcel in a few episodes of the TV show Friends was brought in to record new original clips to rally the Angels. The Rally Monkey is still around and makes an appearance if the Angels are trailing by 4 or fewer runs in the 6th inning or later. Time now for today's fun fact. New Jersey has more horses per capita than any other state, including Kentucky. That's all for today. I'll have more tomorrow on This Day in Sports History. This has been an original Thrive Suite production.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.